122 pounder, 10-5, man. Watch the Goodfellas Sports TV, bro.
You guys from Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Watch
Goodfellas Sports.
Goodfellas, bro.
All right, man. Tim Bradley says that he think Caleb Plant is sweet. That's basically what he said. He said he think Caleb Plant sweet. He said if you put enough pressure on Caleb Plant, he'll eventually fold. You know, he said it wasn't how he faded in the Canelo fight physically, it's how he mentally faded in that fight. And he says he feel like if you put enough pressure, this is crazy weather in Michigan. 51 day, 29 another day, 40 something the next day. But he said if you feel like you put enough pressure on him, he just gonna fold. And he said he can't get that out of his mind, that about the Canelo. My thing was this: I knew the fight was over really before the fight began. When he popped Caleb Plant in the face, his face opened up leaking. I mean, even in the street fight that leaked against him and the black guy in the street, where he just moving and moving and moving, and at some point you gotta hold your ground, you know. And I like in the Darrell fight that Stephen Bredman had him holding his ground more, you know, in and out, sliding to the side, you know, not just backing up and walking amongst the ropes, you know. And, you know, for a guy, Canelo, who was a 154 pounder, middleweight, whatever you want to call him, for you to open the bell just to start moving and conceding that he was a stronger guy, that showed me a lot about Caleb Plant right then and there. Even in other fights versus Caleb Truax, like when he didn't have a killer instinct to put a Truax coming off of an ACL injury or whatever. Even when he fought Uzatagi, when you dropped him like that, why not finish him off? You know? So, I mean, you start to look at kind of things Caleb Plant do. You start to have, you know, like, you know, is it the coach? You know, at some point, you know, when you fought Canelo, ain't no way he should have conceded ground round one. Ain't no way he should have been moving around, letting the smaller guy walk him down and hunt him down and eventually clip him out of there. I keep telling y'all, man, that ain't how y'all fight. That ain't how you fight guys that you quote unquote believe they can punch. Once you start believing the shit about the power, it's mythical and it's great, you already fucking lost. Yeah, you gotta respect it. You gotta respect the record. Like Danny Jacobs, I got in there with Triple G. I was expecting this mystical power, and it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. Of course, you gotta mentally prepare yourself to go through that for sure. For sure. But you can't let the smaller guys just walk you down and you concede the ground to them. And that's what I can't get out of my mind, you know, until you fought Anthony Darrell. No, walk is that. Well, you gotta be, when you fight a puncher, I keep telling y'all this. Andre Ward then said it before too. You don't walk, you don't move. Because once you start moving and you start running or sliding across the ropes, whatever you want to call it, you giving him leverage. You letting him have leverage. You don't want to keep him, you don't want him to have that balance that he need to get the leverage on the shots. You know what I'm saying? And if he walk you down cutting the ring off, he got leverage. He can, you know, he controlling what you do already. As soon as the ball on the ring, he moving and moving. He controlling you already without even throwing a punch. So now he already in your mind, he already know I can hurt him because he moving like that. So now he already controlling you. Now it's just he taking his time, touch you here, touch you there. You can't move forever. Most fighters can't move forever. Then guess what? He get you on the ropes, he start going to work on your ass. Now you tired. Now instead of countering him and slipping and all that shit, now you just defensive, he just beating your ass. You know, you gotta take the risk of going to the puncher. You know, some punchers, you know, you put them on their heels, they're not the same puncher. Some punchers, you make them pick up their feet, they're not the same puncher. You know, and it's a way to move. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain way to move. You keep it in the center of the ring, you turn them. You got to keep them turning. Like he did versus Darrell, turn them in and out. You know what I'm saying? Feint. And he right. From when Canelo popped him in his face, I knew he didn't have a chance. In round one, when the bell rung, he started, running. I knew he didn't have a chance. I knew he really it certified, or it reassured me in my head that my synopsis was right. And Bredman was a great pickup for him, man. Great pickup. Now he learning how, that's the sign of a good defensive fighter, not moving. Everybody get caught up in the rope-a-dope and shit. Ali stop fucking running. He ain't want to run no more. So he had to do the rope-a-dope. And, and that's what it was. But then you start looking, and what Tim Bradley's saying is just that's the way he just mentally crumpled down the stretch. So, he did look sweet in that fight. I would love to get in the ring with him if I was his contemporary, but he learned being the way. I heard they was beating on him in Philly, had to welcome him to Philly. And obviously he responded very, very well in the Darrell fight. So, but he right. He broke. He was sweet. And that's what David Benavidez think he's sweet. Now you hear strength and conditioning coach Larry Wade say y'all think it's a mistake if you think he gonna run. It would be a mistake on his part if he did run. Hold your ground. Keep that fight in the middle of the ring as much as possible. Because once you start keeping that, look how Evander Holyfield fought Mike Tyson. And Holyfield can move. Holyfield can do everything. He was the immovable object versus Mike Tyson, and he didn't let Mike bully him, and he bullied Mike, and that's how you Andre Ward, he tasted Kovalev right hand, walk right into it, but it's the risk that you got to take versus the puncher. And people really think, oh, moving, that's, man, all you doing is giving them leverage, and you got some fighters that can just get leverage off, off platform, and they the dangerous ones. They're the dangerous ones, but you gotta take the chance. You got some guys they gotta set their feet to punch. You gotta use that to your advantage. And those guys they gotta set. You sit there for a minute, you feint, whatever you gotta do. As soon as they about to punch, you just move off the spot. The best way to move is to step over. Because think about it, if you move backward, straight back, which you really not supposed to do in boxing, but if you move straight back, and you misgauge the distance, guess what? You move back to the ropes, you on the ropes. So guess what? Then he gonna move in and proceed to handle his business. But if you sit there, right, you feint him, whatever, y'all in the middle of the ring, and he about to punch, and you can gauge it, and you step over, guess what? He gotta turn back towards you. And that's the beauty. That's what Manny Pacquiao did to a lot of them opponents when he, was draining them shit at 47. That was his game. He walked a little bit too close. That was his game. Look how Manny Pacquiao turning his opponents. It was feint, then he'd step over, and then they'd turn over. Then he'd run the combinations. He'd get up, and then he'd step over, get out of range again. Then he get back in range. He keep him off balance. That's how you got to do. Keep him turning. Because then the puncher got to pick his feet up, turn towards you. And the key thing about keeping them turning and all that type of stuff is you got to know when they set, you got to keep them guessing. When they set and they set their feet, they about to throw. So anytime they set, you got to be able to set the trap, and that's either you get off, and the key is combinations. That's the key. They could take one shot. They're gonna anticipate the one shot. They'll take it, they'll roll it, they'll slip it, then they turn, they know where you're gonna be. So you gotta be able to turn every which way, in and out. And at some point you gotta be willing to go in for the kill too. So yes, it's about, when they set, feinting them, keeping them off balance, running combinations, turning them, keeping them off your rhythm, and just throwing them combinations at some point, and then drowning their ass down the stretch. At some point, you have to press play, and you got to move the line of scrimmage. They say in football, you got to go for the kill. Just come right down the pipe and get, once you did it for so long, then go right down the pipe and kill him. And that's what you got to do versus Benavidez. Versus Benavidez, you're going to have to just keep turning them, working the body, keep them guessing and shoe shining in and out. And at some point, you're going to press Benavidez and push him back and get that respect. Terrence Crawford talked about, when you fight bigger guys, the thing is you got to go out there and get respect, right? And Andrade is great at that as well, too. Andrade go out there versus guys, he set the tone and let you know he can't hurt you. He go out there and pop your mouth, press you, pop your mouth real good one time. He set the tone. And that's one thing. A lot of times you want to set that tone early. You want to pop them in their mouth, set it early. Then they know they got to think twice. So now they got something to think about before the feints, before the combinations, before you make them pick up the feet. Before, and then once you set the tone, you get a lead, then you can start boxing, making them rush and walk into shots. So I mean, that ain't the way you fight. Punchers is move instantly. When you get to that level, bro, they used to that shit. You got a body punch, you got to, shoe shine combinations up and down. You got to keep them turning. And the dudes that got to set their feet, that's a huge disadvantage. That's a huge disadvantage, especially for a guy like Caleb Plant who can punch when he moving. So he showed us Uzataki. When he move, he can do some things, but that's what people think. He is sweet. So Timothy and Plant out to prove that he ain't. And if Plant add, being able to fight stationary to his game and be able to hold his ground, and actually, that's the sign of a great defender, not moving and maneuvering around the ring and avoiding punches. A sign of a great defender is being able to sit right in the lion's den, right in that pocket, and you can't hit him, and he still can hit you and make you miss and operate. That's what Pernell was good at. Look at how he fought Chavez. He was right in Chavez fucking breadbasket, and he couldn't do shit with him. Base wide as hell. Look how wide Pernell base was. Pernell already knew going down to San Antonio they was going to take it from him. He made it where they couldn't take it from him. They still took it from him. That's the sign. Mayweather sat right there in front of his opponent's face when he was older, about 40 and up, and they couldn't hit him. That's the good thing about it. So it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Financially, want to support the channel. Cash App, $, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all 9. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.